It didn't say yes. Yeah.
Oh, it says live now.
Oh, we are? Okay. Let me try
It's
again.
saying live on the,
Okay, we are live.
we're alive whether we want to or not.
Yes, we are live. If you struggle with finding the ideal clients, or you find yourself with clients who are not profitable or just create more chaos or stress in your business, you want to listen in for the next few minutes. I have an awesome expert today, Nikki Chan Paulis, and she is going to be guiding us through what do we need to do to save time and money to attract those ideal clients, the clients that we really need, the clients that we even want for a lifetime at times. So do listen in. Do remember, guys, to share this broadcast as you hear it too, and do state where you're coming from, because we are a community. You never know who might need this information. I'm pretty sure every business owner, every CEO, every entrepreneur needs this information that Nikki will be sharing with us today. Thank you so much for coming on, Nikki. I really do appreciate it. And
Well,
I'm pretty excited about this conversation.
we'll see where it goes, right? Thank you, Kersha, for
Yes,
inviting me.
yes, thank you
This
so
is
much.
fun.
So, yeah, so one of the things I find is that it's just like with your health, or, probably with certain, when it comes to health, there's so many different theories, so many different books, suggestions, plans, and you can get so overwhelmed. Like, what should I do to really lose weight, to stay on track? So when it comes to finding the ideal client, I do know that there are so many different theories, there are so many strategies that are being offered, and it can really get overwhelming. It can really get, very frustrating at times, because when you're trying all these different methods, this is not working, you're not seeing the results, it can be so, so, so frustrating. So I first want us to talk about, you mentioned saving time and money. What are some of the red flags that, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a CEO, you need to know right away if this is happening? Change your strategy right away when it comes to
Okay.
finding your ideal client. Yeah.
Well, let's put it this way. The key is in the word ideal client.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And most people make it way too broad. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And because
Yeah.
it's so broad, the problem that we run into is the messages that we send out are not resonating with people. Right.
Yeah.
So if we're too broad, just to give you an example, if let's say you're a massage therapist, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and a massage therapist provides massage therapy services. However, if this particular massage therapist decides she wants to target stay-at-home moms,
Yeah.
so her message might be somewhere along the lines, you know what? Come get away from the kids for a couple of hours. Come relax and de-stress.
Yeah.
So
We all
you
need
can,
that.
yeah, so you can go back to being the best mom possible.
Yeah.
Doesn't that sound really attractive,
It
right?
does. It
Okay,
does.
now,
Yeah.
Kersha, I'm gonna shift the gears now. That same massage therapist decides she wants to target seniors.
Mm-hmm.
That last message isn't going to resonate with them.
No. Yeah, that's
So
true.
with seniors, you might say something along the lines, come get, I'll help you get rid of your pain. I'll give you more joint mobility so you can enjoy life pain-free and spend
Yeah.
more time with your grandkids.
Yeah.
Now, wouldn't that be more attractive to the
It
seniors?
does. Yeah, I can see the difference right away, the message.
Exactly. So you're identifying who your ideal client is
Hmm.
going to make a huge impact because the
Yes.
message will change. So when I'm
Hmm.
talking about saving time and money, is if that message is not resonating with your ideal client, it doesn't matter, like it's like throwing money away
Yeah.
because you're not making that connection.
Yeah.
And there is a statistics, I believe did you know that like 72% of messages out there, people will only resonate with the ones that they can make a connection to. So if it's
Wow.
too broad,
Yeah.
it's not going to attract people.
Hmm.
And that's one of the key things about saving time and money is
Yeah.
clearly identifying who the ideal client is,
Mm-hmm.
so we can design a message that will be engaging for them. And if they're engaged in the message, guess what? They're going to be naturally attracted to you and they're going to want to work with you,
Yeah. Yeah. That
right?
that does make sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
can you have, oh, go ahead, Nikki. Yeah.
no, what were you going to say?
Now, I was saying that with the ideal client, do you find it gets a little tricky finding that? Because, for example, a doctor, they might, like a generalist doctor, for example, or probably a mason or a contractor, that do you find that you can have several ideal clients, or do you need to have, different messages, or how does that work? Because I know some persons, like a doctor, you just know that's in some cases, it's a doctor, that's all you want, you're going to go get help, right? So how does it work through when persons listening on, they're like, how do I know really that this is my ideal client, or who is my ideal client really? Yeah.
There are a number of things that we can go through to identify your ideal client. And
Okay.
as over time, as you work more with your client, you get to understand who your ideal client is better and better. Now, one of the questions that I get asked a lot is, what if I have more than one target,
Yeah.
ideal client, right? Target
Mhm.
market. Well, that's fine. I typically tell people you probably don't want more than two, because
Okay.
if you're going to be putting all your effort into one target market,
Mhm.
then you're going to do really well with that target market. But if you're spreading yourself too thin and you've got
Yeah.
multiple target markets, it's like, okay, 50% on this one and 50% on that one, right?
Mhm.
And that now you're splitting up your time. So you're only going to get half the results from one. Right?
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing that people don't understand is when you're talking about the target market, or your ideal client, okay,
Mhm. Yeah.
is this is really referring to how you're marketing to them.
Okay.
Okay. This is where you're putting your marketing efforts. So your marketing efforts are obviously going to be the people who are most likely going to be attracted to you. However,
Mhm.
if let's just take an example. Let's say, you want to target realtors,
Yeah.
but let's say you also want to target somebody else, like mortgage brokers, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Those are two very different target markets. So if a mortgage broker came up to me and I'm targeting realtors, I'm not going to say no to them.
Yeah. Mhm.
Right? I'm
Yeah.
not going to say no to them. I'm still going to provide my services to the mortgage brokers. So when we're targeting our marketing towards a certain demographics, that's exactly what it is. It's targeting the marketing. It's not it's not saying I'm not going to work with you because you're not in my target market. That's not the
Mhm.
case. You're still going
Yeah.
to do business with them.
Yeah.
However, you're going to be marketing to the people that you feel are most attracted to you.
Yeah. And I'm glad you highlighted that, because sometimes people do fear that, okay, if I'm messaging dentists, then that leaves me so exposed, I might not get enough business, profitable business from dentists. So I want to know that realtors or teachers can also work with me. So that I'm happy you mentioned that. So this equation, saving time and money, messaging is one, the ideal client, having that right message. What's another part of the equation?
Is the marketing strategy that you're going to use. Okay. Earlier, you said that, like there's so many marketing strategies. Which one should I pick?
Yeah.
Okay. And here's a very simple formula is whichever one is in
Mhm.
front of your ideal client.
Okay.
Okay. Let me
Yeah.
explain to you. I had one client that was working with me and she said, Nikki, I go out networking and I get no results networking. And I
Yeah.
said, okay, well, let's take a look. Where are you networking? And so she told me where she networked. And here's the interesting thing. Her target market is corporations.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So she works with larger companies,
Yeah.
but she was hanging out in small business communities.
Mm.
And I'm sitting here going, well, like the reason she was hanging out in small business communities, because a lot of the small business communities had a lot of learning how to grow your business and all of these things.
Yeah.
However, her clients weren't there. Her
Mm-hmm.
clients are at the Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
Right. So when it comes to saving time and money, it's understanding back to who is your ideal client and then building a strategy based on that. So
Yeah.
not everybody's on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
There are,
Definitely.
there are some people where Instagram would be a better platform for them to do their social media,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so it really depends on the habits of your ideal client. And so your marketing strategy, what you're choosing, is the one that your target market is going to see.
Yes.
So if your target market is on Facebook and they spend a lot of time on Facebook, then sure, you might want to consider Facebook ads, right? Or,
Yeah,
if they're on
exactly.
LinkedIn, you might, you're going to spend more time on LinkedIn and creating posts and, engaging people, doing Facebook, LinkedIn lives like that, exactly like this.
Yeah.
But if they're not on LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
it's not the right strategy,
Okay. And
right?
that's interesting because I do know that sometimes, and it's kind of like a peer pressure, wanting to be a part of everything. Sometimes that okay, I need to be in this group, I need to do this, just following everything blindly and not getting the results. But you're saying that you need to really know where your ideal client is. It's one thing to know who your ideal client is, but where are they really hanging out? Where do you really find them? Because that is really very, very important to really be where they are at, right? Because otherwise, there again, it's just wasting time, wasting money, and then it just gets so much more overwhelming for sure. Hi, Kenil, I
Abs-
see you joined us. Hi, nice to have you. You
so,
can put your questions in the chat if you want, Kenil. Yeah, thanks for
Trisha,
tuning in.
I'm going to give you another example because earlier I
Sure.
talked about the massage therapist. Remember the massage
Yes.
therapist? There were
Yes.
two target markets, the stay-at-home moms and then the seniors. Okay.
Yeah.
So for the stay-at-home moms, where this massage therapist is going to do her marketing and advertising will
Mhm.
be at play groups, school functions, community halls, wherever kids are hanging out, but she's
Exactly.
not going to be attracting seniors. Seniors, she might be putting an ad at the seniors home, or
Mhm.
she might even put an ad at the local pharmacy, because guess what?
Yeah.
Seniors are
Meditation.
constantly getting medication, right?
Yeah.
So you can see she has the exact same product,
Mhm.
exact same service with the two different groups, and you can see
Yeah.
how much it's changed. So
Exactly.
and here's another interesting scenario, and I hear this a lot. Okay, I hear this a lot.
Mhm. Mhm.
So and so got great results with Facebook ads,
Yes, I've heard that too. Yeah.
and then they go and tried Facebook ads and nothing.
Yeah.
Crickets, right? And they
Yeah.
they spent all this money on spending ads and nothing. And that's because it could be a couple of reasons. It could be because their ideal client is not on that platform. That is
Mhm.
possible. However, another thing that's possible, this is going back to saving time and money, is their
Yeah.
messaging. Their messaging might not be clear. So
Exactly.
if their message is not clear and is not engaging, guess what? It's like throwing money out the window.
Exactly. Just a waste of time and money again. So I want to shift a little bit on time. So you're doing your thing. How is there a time, like for example, after 2 months, you're not getting any clients, you need to change your strategy? How do you know when it's time to really change course or even reach out for help to someone like you?
Okay, first of all, when it comes to time when you're tracking a strategy, okay,
Yeah.
it's not necessarily that the strategy is not working, because there's a couple of things that might not work. One
Mm,
one of the key important things, and I see this a lot, is the messaging. Back to what we had talked
okay.
about earlier, right?
Yeah.
So if the
Hmm.
messaging is not engaging people, then
Mm-hmm.
you won't get results. Okay. So,
Yeah.
one of the things that you could be doing to save yourself time is to have a community that you can test your marketing content on
Yeah.
and say, hey, does this resonate with you?
Mm-hmm.
Marketing companies call it A/B testing. Okay, they'll
Yeah.
keep the same words on the post, but they'll change the image to see which
Mm-hmm.
one's going to engage with most, right?
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
so if you do that testing and when you have the environment to do the testing, you know which one is going to work better than the others before sending it out, right?
Yeah.
Before spending money on it. Now, here's the interesting thing. I've heard from a number of people where they did this A/B testing, they changed the image,
Mm-hmm.
and so many people have come back to me and said, you know what? The testing group all picked the image that I didn't resonate with, right?
Imagine that. Yeah.
It's really interesting. I had another client who said to me, she was trying to come up, she's a digital marketing person. Okay, so she's
Yeah.
marketing. So she knows
Uh-huh.
marketing, right? And she was trying to come up with a title for her program, her new program,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And so, we came up with five, and I said, let's test this on the group. So we
Yeah.
put it out there and we put all five of them, and overwhelming majority, everyone picked this one. And she came to me and she said, Nikki, that's the one I resonated with least. And I
Imagine
looked
that.
and I
Uh,
looked at her and I said, are you selling this program to yourself?
no.
Exactly. So I
Exactly.
think what she
Understand.
made a few modifications to it, but it was pretty close to the one that everybody picked. And that's
Yeah.
one of the key things is when it comes to marketing and you're doing the design of what the messaging is and whether the images that you're using is test it out on people to see if it's going to work. Because when you have that environment that you can test it, when you're ready to launch, whether it's a website or a landing page or posts or whatever it is, test it out and
Yeah.
see whether it's resonating with people, and then spend the money to launch it if that's the way you choose. If you decide you want to use Facebook ads, then if you don't do what I'm sharing with you right now, it could be a very costly exercise,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So, but if you're just doing social media posts and you're not spending money on advertising, then that's a different thing, right?
Mhm.
That's more your time, but there's no money involved in that. However,
Exactly.
time is money.
Yeah. So I know it can be very overwhelming for some persons, intimidating. What would you say is the best place to start for someone? They're in confusion about, who their ideal client is, what strategy to choose. What's the first step would you recommend for them?
Well, we actually have a program specifically dedicated to look at the target market and
Okay.
the messaging. This is like a 5-week program. A lot of
Okay.
programs out there, they kind of say, this is what you need. Okay,
Yeah.
you need your target market, and you need your messaging, and then insert it into this program. The
Yeah.
problem that we run into is that's not enough for people to be able to get those answers, which is why we created this program. This is a 5-week program, and we
Hmm.
spend the entire time just on this topic alone. So we don't gloss over it.
Good.
We dig deep, and each week it's like peeling the layer of the onion, and we go deep to
Yeah.
helping them with the message. Because you know what? One of the biggest mistakes that people make when it comes to
Mhm.
marketing is not having that clarity of the target market and the messaging. Once you have that, whatever
Mhm.
strategy you pick will have much better results.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm. And that's great to know because it's just like certain areas in your business, certain areas in life, you need to really spend time to really dive deep so that you really come out with that best result, that best understanding. And having the wrong client leads to so many, it's like a snowball impact. So it is so important to find the strategy to really identify and resonate with your ideal client so that you're saving time, you're saving money, and you're going to see the impacts like throughout all the areas of your business and your life as well. So it is really a very, very critical area and so forth. So yeah. So Nikki, go ahead. Yeah.
I was going to say, Kersha, as many of us are small business owners, and
Yeah.
as small business owners, we can't afford to take a detour.
Yeah.
Right? And that's really the key. We can't afford to take the detour. So,
Hmm.
what I had discussed today about the ideal client and the messaging, these are the core foundational elements.
Hmm.
Once you have that, the results that you will get will absolutely, you will see results from that. Okay.
Yeah.
Without
Hmm.
it, it's like throwing money out.
Exactly. And who wants to be doing that, right? Nobody. We don't want to be doing that, you know, never before and especially now. So
Exactly.
Nikki,
Exactly.
where can persons find you or reach out to you? They want to, this dive deeper into this area, or even inquire about, that program support that you mentioned. What's the best way for them to find you?
They can send me an email, and I can put that. Should I put it in the chat? Is that the
Yes,
best
you
way,
can
or
go
should
ahead
I?
now. Yeah,
I
you can
can
go
put
ahead.
it
Yeah.
in. Okay, I can put that one into the chat box, and they can either reach out to me by email, and
Okay.
we can have a conversation to see, if this is something that would be of interest to them, right?
Okay.
And to get more details on the program. But that's where we really focus our time, is the foundations. And once the
Hmm.
foundations are in place, then you can take it to the next step, right? One step at
Exactly.
a
Yeah.
time. The way I like to describe it, it's like, it's, you know, when you're building when you're building a house, right? You've got the blueprints.
Yeah.
Okay. The blueprints will tell us that we're supposed to put the plumbing in before
Hmm.
the walls goes up,
Yeah.
right? So can you imagine putting the walls up before the plumbing? It's going to be a very
Exactly.
costly mistake.
Exactly.
So exactly. So I'm going to put my information into the chat box.
Okay.
Is it under private chat or comments?
Under comments, yeah. Under comments, and then everyone can see it.
Okay, hang on. I think it's coming through on, uh, no, it's under private.
That's weird. Oh, probably when we end our live, it's gonna be live right away, and you can put it on there in the chat there then.
Okay, because
Yeah,
I'm going
you have
to,
it under private chat, not under the regular
yeah,
chat. But
yeah,
when
when
we
I
end
go,
our live, yeah, technology is fine. When we end
there
our
is
live,
no,
it's right. Yeah, that's kind of weird because I can see the chat. I'm not sure. But yeah, when we end our live, you can definitely go and put it in the comments to say where people can reach out to you and definitely get more details on this program as well and the support because it's really, really such an important area, really quite a foundational area of any business, of any corporation for sure. So thank you so much, Nikki, for coming on. I really appreciate it. I'm sure those listening in will appreciate it and it resonates a lot with them as well. And as always, do share this broadcast. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to Nikki to continue this conversation. So we are going to be signing off.
and thank you, Kersha, for inviting me.
And thank you. No problem, Nikki. Thank you so much. So bye, guys. We are signing off now. Bye bye.